I have to re-record this video. You know what I'm saying? The quality of video didn't come out the way that I wanted it to, so had to set everything back up again and all that. You know what I'm saying? Even though reset everything back up is not actually a word. But anyway, what I was talking about and all that in the last video is I basically created the dimensional destabilizer. That's where I'm flying from right now. Um, over here is a singularity maker. You know what I'm saying? I'll talk about that in a minute. But the reason why I created this is because of the AE2 system again. I did figure out a way to actually make it actually work. The issue is the ME controllers or whatever. The power drain is really coming from the ME controllers or whatever because there's so much distance in between where I'm standing at and the next point that I need to connect to, which is all the way down here. Like I said, every single one of these square sections is 8 chunks. So you can see the amount of distance in between that. And my solution was to actually daisy chain a bunch of ME connectors every 2 chunks. You know what I'm saying? So I need about 4 right here, 4 here, 4 here, 4 there, 4 there. You know what I'm saying? And that's still gonna cause a lot of power issues or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's a theory that does work because I did test it out. This is about maybe the 6 or 7 video that I made dealing with this power drain issue, and I happened to delete all the rest of the videos because I feel like it would just add in a bunch of meaningless stuff that I was saying anyway. You know what I'm saying, about the power drain issue, because it's been prevalent or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's been frustrating dealing with it and all that, but I don't need all the videos to explain that. I could just say that. Yeah, so that was the issue or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But instead of making in excess of like maybe 20 different ME controllers and linking them all together, I just do it the intended way that Applied Energistics has set up, and that's with the quantum ring. So it's a multi-block structure or whatever. You know what I'm saying? You set it up and I forgot the name of the blocks or whatever, but you set it up, and then there's a middle block or whatever. That middle block is where you put the singularities. You know what I'm saying? But there's another step after this. You need to actually blow these up. You blow them up in world interaction or whatever. You blow them up with interpearls, and you create quantum entangled singularities. You put one of these inside of that controller block I was talking about, and then you put the other one in another controller block wherever you want it to link to. You know what I'm saying? And that'll mitigate the whole process of making all the ME controllers or whatever. So that's the reason why I created this over here. Like I said, that's a singularity maker. You know what I'm saying? This is nothing but a cobblestone generator. You know what I'm saying? This is a design that I got off the internet. You know what I'm saying? Real popular design. I forgot who initially created this or whatever, but I seen this I seen it before a couple years back or whatever. But this is a car contraption, basically. All basically connected to this threshold switch. You just go inside the threshold switch the signal, and everything starts back up. Everything starts up, and lava comes in from the top. You know what I'm saying, through the drain, and then you just waterlog all the pumps down here. And because I said this is a contraption, what's going on is that this threshold switch is receiving a redstone signal basically from itself. You know what I'm saying? And if it turns basically into a ghost block, the ghost block basically phases inside of solid cobblestone blocks when they get formed, and then because the contraption is pushing upwards, it turns into a ghost block or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Allows it to form. It loses its signal when it goes upwards, though. You know what I'm saying? Then it falls back down and receives the redstone signal again because it's trying to turn into a contraption over and over again, and that's gonna cause all these cells down here to break the cobblestone and then go down into the brass funnels and into the barrels or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But I have a item collector here because I didn't extend these frame trap doors to go all the way down. So cobblestone flies all over the place. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I got the item collector here. It's pulling basically all of this, all of the cobble that's being generated from here into this block, the matter condenser. And this matter condenser is set to condense anything that goes into it into a singularity. So about 15-20 minutes ago, I got the first singularity or whatever. And you have to wait for this bar to fill up. So that shows you how many items is actually pulling in. Right now it's 37,000, well 38,000. items, and you see the number constantly going up. Every single one of those numbers is a piece of cobblestone. And in order to speed up the process of this, I created this multi-block right here. This is a rock crusher, and it's essentially basically just a large cobblestone generator. There's smaller versions of this. This is the upgraded version, and this creates cobblestone extremely quickly. Uh, if I disconnect the pipe, you'll see how fast this fills up. You know what I'm saying? And it's very simple. You know what I'm saying? You just need cobblestone and input bus, water in the output hatch, and lava in the output hatch. And I mean, in the two input hatches or whatever, and start it up and all that. Give it the maintenance and all that, with the maintenance block and all that, and you just wait. And so I just been leaving that there. That's been there for like maybe a day or two. You know what I'm saying? And I got the first singularity today. You know what I'm saying? And if we fly over here, this is what I'm doing everything for. You know what I'm saying? The quantum ring and all of that, just the same thing. Condense my storage system, um, and finally finish that project. You know what I'm saying? And this is a nuclear fission reactor that I created a while ago. That's gonna have to do with the dimension of destabilizer and powering it. Now I'll talk about that in a minute. So over here, right here, this multi-block structure. This is the first of the crazy Greg Take multi-blocks. You know what I'm saying? Well, this is a custom multi-block. I feel like specifically for this pack, but this is a custom multi-block, and this is called the dimensional stabilizer. This is what I was trying to make before. So I got everything ready to go. It's idle right now. You know what I'm saying? You can see what it is. It's IV Energy 8,900 and 902 EU per tick in order to run this. So that's an incredible amount of power. You know what I'm saying? That's the reason why I need the nuclear fission reactor. And right now I need to create TNT for the singularity. That's what I was doing. So yeah, this is all up and good and going. This is an IV energy hatch in order to run this. An IV input hatch. You know what I'm saying, for the fluids. HV input bus. You know what I'm saying, because I didn't have an IV input bus, and I didn't want to make another IV input bus, not right now anyway. So I just took everything else as far as the hatches and stuff that I already had on hand. Got an IV output bus right here, you know what I'm saying? So I got all of this space right here to collect all the knockwater that I'm going to be making, and an IV quadruple output hatch so I can output 4 different fluids or whatever, but only one fluid is really coming from this. So if I look up knockwater right here's the tab. You know what I'm saying? It shows me the recipe or whatever you need. Nether star shards, which I already have. I'm already making nether stars, and I have PCB coolant already made. And for the most part, you could just loop this. You know what I'm saying? So when you make it, you get the knockwater back, but you also get hot PCB coolant. And then you take the hot PCB coolant and then run it through a vacuum freezer and turns it back into regular PCB coolant. And then you could just loop that right back into the machine. And for the most part, you're not really losing anything because it's almost the same amount. You know what I'm saying? You put 8 buckets of PCB cooler in, you get 9.6 buckets out. You know what I'm saying? So you getting access basically, and then when you run it through a vacuum freezer, you get you have to put 1.2 buckets in, then you get 1 bucket back. So you basically getting back what you put in. You know what I'm saying? And it's the same thing with another star charge. You get tiny piles of another star dust. You know what I'm saying? Which you can just turn that into straight dust and then run that back into an implosion chamber, which I already have, and that'll get you your nether stars, and then you can take that and break those down into nether star shards and then run them right back into the machine. You know what I'm saying? So I'm basically you're not getting knock water for free, but you basically getting it for free. You know what I'm saying? If you know what I mean. You know, and this is one of those late game materials. You can tell by the nether stars. PCB cooling is very difficult to make. It's not difficult to make, but it's one of those multi-step processes to actually make this and get that out. You know what I'm saying? Now, in order to run this and run it at a comfortable rate and keep it constantly running, I'm going to be creating a fuel rod looping system with a nuclear fission reactor. You know what I'm saying? Nuclear fission reactor, like it's like any regular reactor. It takes fuel rods, uranium fuel rods and thorium fuel rods. 2 different qualities. You have to highly enriched and then like a low enriched fuel rod or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But if you run a fuel rod through a nuclear fission reactor, it'll use the power and then give you back depleted fuel rods or whatever. And those depleted fuel rods, you can centrifuge those and get the materials back and the canister back, and then you could just remake it back into a new fuel rod, and then run that back into the nuclear fission reactor. So you basically creating like a closed loop, and you could keep powering the machine. And that's what I'm gonna be doing today, adding the vacuum freeze and everything else and all that, and basically making the whole production line for power in order to run this in order to run this destabilizer. So my fission reactor is all the way over here. I might break it down and bring it over here because I'm going to create the whole looping system. I'm gonna create that in the test world, so I know what I'm building. I'm not gonna try to freehand that and go back to what I was doing before. So this is the fission reactor right here. This is a small one. It does its job though. You know what I'm saying? I ran a few fuel rods through here before. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing in here now. Well, I have one depleted thorium fuel rod, but this is what I'm talking about. When you run it through, you get the depleted thorium fuel rod. Then you get the uranium out of that. You know what I'm saying? You take the uranium and then you process it again. You know what I'm saying? Process it again. You make another fuel rod out of that. You know what I'm saying? Then you run it right back through the machine, and you keep doing that over and over and over. There's three different types of dust. You have thorium, uranium 235, and uranium 238, and you have to just keep running it through the production lines and process it to get it back into a state where you can make another rod out of it. And that's what the whole system is for. And then you just rerun it through the nuclear fission reactor, and then send the power into the multi-block, into the dimensional destabilizer, and that's how you get that going or whatever. That's a project for another day, because not another day. That's the next project that I'm working on, because I'm gonna need the knock with them. You know what I'm saying? Right now, I'm just knock with is important. Um, it's different in different packs with GT as far as doing the research and all that. So I don't know how important Aqua is in this pack, but it's definitely one of those late game materials that you definitely gonna need for something. So I just need to look and see what I need it for, but it's definitely important to progression or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I'm currently at. Um, I like this little contraption right here. You know what I'm saying? Might move the multi block or something in front of that to make it look a little bit more neater. You know what I'm saying? And at some point, I'm going to come back and clean up all of this. You know what I'm saying? I might clean it up and I might leave it. You know what I'm saying? Because, no, I just want to, But anyway, another time. And another plot, another time, same place. So that's where I'm currently at.